to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We are streaming on all social media platforms, including YouTube at Keys to the City. New hoodies as well. If you want a new hoodie, they're beautiful. Let us know, blue or black. So put that volume down right now. A special shout out to one of our big supporters and avid commenters since we've began, RJ. I know you're dealing with some pain, but stay strong. You're a Westie. Got the Westie blood in you. Stay strong, buddy. Keys to the City. We love you, buddy.
Speedy recovery, bro.
Speedy recovery as well. So, Joseph, come on in and join us. As we know, we always get to look at him right now. Look at Joseph. Wow.
Fashion Joe.
He's fashionable.
I'm trying to match my tie to Keys to the City. Did I do it?
The black, the white, and the blue. I like it. It looks good. You got the Keys to the City.
It has nothing political to do with it.
Nothing at all, right?
No, this is not my Joe Biden costume.
But yes, we will talk about.
You'd be a better candidate, anyways.
I vote for you, buddy. I vote for you. I'll vote for Joe. At least he's real. The real Joe Aguirre. But we'll talk about the baseball. Big game 3 tonight. We'll see what happens with the Dodgers and Rays. Is Kevin Cash the best manager in baseball? And has Mookie Betts has merged as the new face of baseball? We'll also talk about that. But there was a game last night. And as expected, another classic Giant debacle. Here's my thing. This never happens against the Washington Redskins or the Washington football team. This never happens to the Dallas Cowboys games. We either lose or we win. When it's the freaking Eagles, this is why I hate playing Philly. I hate those all-black uniforms, even though they're really nice.
They're cool.
8 straight. So here's my thing, Giant fans. When do we start deciphering between expectations and reality? Expectations were, for a major chunk of that game, the New York Giants were the better team. I think we could all agree on that statement. But the reality is, this is just the typical New York Giant way against Philly. It's been going on since, and my dad could always tell me about it. It's been going on for 40, 50 years. This is New York Giant football, and especially when you play the Eagles. Herm Edwards comes to mind. Deshaun freaking Jackson comes to mind. Now we can add Carson Wentz again. And when do we stop saying that this is a rivalry? Ted, you said this is 7 straight coming in last night. Now it's 8 straight wins for the Philadelphia Eagles. So when do we start saying or stop calling it a rivalry? Because in a rivalry, you go back and forth. This is a rivalry, a hated rivalry. But when you're losing the way the Giants lose, and it's always Philly, God, it's so frustrating to start the freaking week. I was here ready to go. Here we go. The Giants, 2-5. Oh my God, we finally beat the Giants. Say goodbye to Jet. We're gonna get into that, Robbie, in a few. Daniel Jones, yes, he tripped over himself. Is not the problem. There's more issues, and I'm gonna pass it over to Ted because I know Ted's been wanting to say stuff. He wanted to do a show last night, but Ted, the floor is yours.
The floor is on mine. No, listen, I read everything on the Giants last night. I was so upset. I mean, it first started with the Daniel Jones 88-yard run, falls on. I mean, trips to 10. When Joe Buck says he's gone, he jinxed us. He jinxed us.
Joe Buck being Joe Buck, right?
You know, I have a problem with that, him falling. Be an athlete. Just run and score because everyone's like, yeah, but they scored anyways, Ted. That's not the point. In Giant fashion, they would have kicked the field goal or threw an interception. Opportunities like that can't be wasted because you just don't know. It's not a touchdown until it's a touchdown. That's a mistake. The offensive line is a problem. We have no number 1 receivers. We don't have a running game. Our defense is our biggest asset, and we have no playmakers on defense. We have a conservative play caller in Jason Garrett. The Giants looked better last night, but Giant fans have to understand the bigger picture now. We lost. The season is over.
It's a loss.
We're 1-6, okay? If we won last night, there was a realistic opportunity for us to make the playoffs. There really was. There were some winnable games ahead of the schedule for the Giants.
And this division is
you
wide
play Washington,
open.
you play back. Yes, anything can happen. Should have beat Dallas. Didn't beat Dallas, whatever. That's the Giant way. Should have beat the Eagles. We should have 3 wins right now. Should have, could have, would have, didn't.
Maybe you should have beat the Bears as well. Played on the last play of the game.
Doesn't matter. Know. So someone wrote last night the Giants suck. The Giants don't suck. The Jets suck. That's the definition of suck, okay?
The Giants suck. Please tell. I don't care. Tell
Johnny
me.
Purtle. That's okay.
Come
and I explained
the
the
Giants
Giants.
don't
Well, it's a
suck.
frustrating Giant fan, and I understand where he's coming. They don't suck. The Jets suck. The Giants just have misfortunes. The Giants just stink. The Giants just find ways to lose. Me and Joe said this before the show. When you continuously lose for 3, 4, 5 years, every single game, every single day, you have a loser mentality.
It seems like it's always Philly.
You don't. It doesn't matter. Jeff, it doesn't matter if it's Philly, me, Jordan.
All right. Hey,
you gotta find.
remember,
You don't.
people want to watch the thing. They don't want to tune off.
You gotta find a way to win. You gotta find a way to win. Loser mentality. I don't want to hear about effort. You know where effort gets you? On the JV squad. Yeah, he put in good effort. He's still not good enough to participate on the team. I know guys that tried real hard. You know what? They still couldn't catch the ball. Still couldn't run routes better than me. Still couldn't do this. Try all you want. You're still not better.
That's not cocky. That's confidence, mother.
Here's the other thing. The Giants win last night if Evan Ingram catches the ball. He's supposed to be our best offensive asset other than Saquon Barkley. I'm going to be realistic. He is our best athlete. That's what we brought him back for his 5th year on his rookie deal. Goodbye, dude. You have been a waste of 5 years. I'm sick and tired of seeing great talent not being used wisely and not being executed.
Would that be the last pick of the Jerry Reese era? I believe that was Jerry Reese's last first round draft. No, I know.
Done with it.
You couldn't have thrown a better perfect ball. And to see that just the way it's the perfect, and it always, and this is what I'm talking about, Joe. It always happens with Philadelphia. It doesn't happen with the Washington Redskins or Washington team. It doesn't happen with Dallas. It always happens against Philly, and that's why I can't stand playing Philly because of the bad memories.
And then Carson Wentz throws a perfect pass to Boston Scott. Jabril Peppers, put your hands up. Have an eye.
Let's get Joe.
We find ways to lose. It's very unfortunate again last night.
Yeah.
And the Giants have to tank and release every person on that team that has not release. Excuse me. Let's correct that. Trade away so that the new GM has as many assets as he possibly can have in year one, so he can build around. If Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for the next 3 years, because you do not want a Mitchell Trubisky situation going forward.
Joseph, come on in. Enjoy.
All right. So my thoughts from last night, and number one, I will say, I'm not sure that the Giants were the better football team last night, Trevor, to be honest. Okay. They had 13 drives last night. 10 of them were 4 plays or less. Mm-hmm. You take away the early touchdown, the 39-yarder. The Giants had 2 drives in that game. The long drive where they scored the touchdown.
Oh, that was like that. What was it? Third quarter or something, like 13 plays or something. They've had
15 plays, 97 yards. They took 7:50 off the clock. They did not have another drive that was longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
But that's the thing, Joe. We've always known this especially this year, that the offense has been the problem majority of the games. They haven't been able to get any drives, sustain drives.
But the question has to be why.
Played well.
The question has to be why, because look, here's what I've seen in the last 2 weeks. I think Daniel Jones is the guy. I'm starting to think more and more that the problem with this team is Evan Ingram. Obviously, that atrocious offensive line, not having a number 1 receiver.
Yeah, because
that drop pass, Teddy, you're exactly right. That drop pass by Ingram, that's the ball game.
That was game. Once he got this over, the game is over.
The Giants averaged 7.3 yards per carry in that game last night, and yet only ran the ball 22 times. Despite
get hurt.
No, I think Gorman had the hot hand.
And, I don't know, man. Freeman never played again.
It doesn't matter. Gorman had the hot hand. He looked great last night, and I liked him. And I think he should be our number 1 back. I think Devontae.
Gorman?
And Devontae, I think they're a perfect match. Straight edge, we got a little more elusiveness. Here's what frustrates me about Daniel Jones. There was a play back in their end zone. I don't know if it was 3rd or 4th quarter. They're at the 3 or 4 yard line, maybe even farther out the 10-yard line. Eagles brought the blitz. He had Darius Slayton on a slam. Now, If he hits Darius Slayton in the hand, he's probably gone, and we score another touchdown. What frustrates me about Daniel Jones is I thought he played a really well game last night. Really well game. If you look at statistically, maybe one of his better games of the whole season, maybe in his career. But at the end of the game, you have to have a sense of presence in the pocket. We make fun of Tom Brady because he can't run more than 5 yards, but he knows how to move within a small space box. Daniel Jones has no idea where anyone is on the field in the pocket. His 8 straight games now with at least 1 turnover. It's an NFL league high, and I think it's an NFL record. It's unbelievable. 1 pick, 1 fumble. Every single game it's an issue. He is an issue a little bit with that. But I can't blame him for this. The offensive line sucks. Joe, you are completely right, and we might have drafted the worst tackle of the 4 rookies that came out in the first round. So the offensive line's not better. Evan Ingram drops way too many passes consistently. Drops way too many passes I've seen in the games. Second, don't have a number. Third, doesn't have a number 1 receiver. Sorry, Darius Slayton's a great piece. He will be a great value to whoever the quarterback is going forward, if it's Daniel Jones or whoever. But he's a number 2. Golden Tate, nice catch last night. First time he caught something all year. See you later. Sterling Shepard, you are a poor man's Julian Edelman. You're not that good. Sorry, I'll take Julian Edelman over Sterling Shepard 8 out of 7 days a week because that's how good Julian Edelman is. He's tougher, doesn't get hurt, and he catches the ball. Sorry, you're not that good. I liked you out of Oklahoma. You just never panned out. After that, there's nothing else. Conservative offensive play call, and Joe, you even said it last week on the show. Let it all hang out. Go streaking. If you lose, you lose. But at least you know what the hell you got. Go down with balls of flame or whatever. A glory of flame.
And I'll tell you what. I love that they've at least unleashed and tapped into a little bit of what Daniel Jones can do. You're seeing this formula with guys like Josh Allen, with guys like Deshaun Watson, with guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like, well, use your feet. And he's good. This guy can run. I mean, a lot of people were making fun of Jones for laughing last night, and Patty Mahomes was like, dude, I don't think I could have ran that fast. Kudos to him.
He ran 21 miles per hour on that. So
yeah, listen, the Giants have a quarterback here, and you've seen now several times in the last couple weeks why they call him Danny Dimes. And for anybody who doesn't know, that nickname actually has some value to it. Daniel Jones literally leads the NFL since he became the Giants starting quarterback at dropping passes in literally what the NFL refers to as dimes. So the idea that this Danny Dimes nickname came from a practice or whatever is malarkey. Oh my God. See, it's the blue tie, malarkey. I'm sounding like Joe Biden already. Fact of the matter is, Daniel Jones is a really good quarterback. And I don't know if right now with what the Giants have, you can have Trevor Lawrence, you can have Joe Montana in 1984. I don't think it would make a difference. That offensive line is so bad. And the Giants, the guys who we thought were these dangerous weapons, wait till Jones get all these weapons together. They're not that good. And we're seeing it now. I'll tell you what. Here's my other thing. Think back now. Imagine if Saquon Barkley was in the Giants lineup right now. This team might be playing very different football.
Might be worse. They might be worse. And I say that with all due respect to any Giant fans who think Saquon would make it easier. Yes, possibly, but it would change the whole philosophy of the Giants. And I don't think Daniel Jones, you would see the full impact of Daniel Jones. I think with Saquon out, it opens the door for anyone to succeed and really see what Daniel Jones is about. And he doesn't get any great, what? Having Saquon, it's like, you got Saquon.
Here's a couple things I want to finish off with this game. We have a serious problem at that left tackle position, and I truly believe that if the Giants
left tackle, left guard, center, right guard,
of course they're showing on First Take right now the Danny Dimes. They're talking about it.
But here's score, bro.
They still scored.
Joe, how do you score?
Here's my thing. They have a real serious issue with Andrew Thomas right now, and he looks lost. He looks slow, and Philly, who has a beat up defense right now, picked him apart. They went after him left and right, blitzes, bringing different types of moves and motions with him, and he could not handle it. And it really reminds us, I think you told me, or somebody said, could be on the verge of another Eric Flowers 2.0. And that's as a Giant
Chris Canny said that, tweeted that out last night.
So there you go.
And he's on the Giants.
Why not put Pert in at left tackle? He showed some competence over there.
And moved
Thomas and put him on the right side. And get that human piece of garbage, Fleming, off the field once and for all. Because that guy, is next level bad.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
He should have been the backup because that's what he was brought here for.
Realistically, I know everybody wants to talk about the whole Trevor Lawrence debate and stuff like that. The Giants got the number 1 pick. I do believe Daniel Jones will be a very good quarterback in this league, and I do believe he's going to work well with the Giants, give him a new GM. But I really do believe you have to go offensive line with this pick. And if you're in the top 2 and Penei Sewell is there, you have to seriously consider taking him. And I don't think anybody's taking the number 1 pick from the New York Jets. That's why I'm saying the draft starts at 2, or because I don't know who's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Minnesota. I don't know if it's going to be Houston. I don't know if it's going to be Atlanta, the Giants, Washington, the Jets. We already know the Jets are going to be the number 1 pick. The Jets are not. If the Jets win a game this year, I will be stunned.
I'll put it this way: if you can't get Trevor Lawrence, don't be afraid to go get Justin Fields.
Who, the Giants?
Why not?
Atlanta.
A real athlete with a much better arm. And
Kev, I agree. The presence in the pocket, has to 100%. We can all agree on that. His pocket presence, things that he needs to be working on.
Listen, I like Justin Fields. Now, maybe I'm a little skeptical because he plays for Ohio State and he has the best players in the country surrounding him all day, like best offensive line.
I think the Jones can flourish with it too.
But I think if you can go get Trevor Lawrence, you go get Trevor Lawrence. Because here's my problem. You said he's going to be very good. I don't want very good. I want great. That's what Eli Manning was for me. Great. I don't want very good. You know who's very good? Matt Ryan. Puts up 4,000 yards every year, 30 touchdowns. Where does very good get you? Very good gets you to a certain place. Dak Prescott's very good. Dak Prescott's leading the league in passing. He hasn't played in a week. That's very good.
No, I understand.
Unless you get really hot where you have a team that's exceptional in a running game or defense, Ryan Tannehill's really good. Very good. But if you were comparing any of the NFC, the Super Bowl teams, right? Are you going to take Mahomes and the Chiefs below the Titans? Are you going to take Roethlisberger, who has 2 Super Bowls under Tannehill? You're going to take Tannehill over him? You're going to take Tannehill over this other guy?
I was waiting for Jason to chime in and say something. He's done. He's done with the Trevor Lawrence.
I think the Giants are probably going to have the 2nd or 3rd pick in this draft, which means they'll also have the 2nd or 3rd pick in the 2nd round. You got to go offensive line, obviously, with the 1st pick. And if there's any, I don't care who else is there. I really don't. I don't think it matters who else is on the board. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. I don't care how it works out. The Giants need to fix the offensive line. There's no reason to get a quarterback now. The Giants don't need the Giants. Hold on. The Giants have never and will never need a great quarterback if they're playing New York Giants football.
Thank you.
That you just don't need it. And hold on. I'll tell you what, as long as you have Saquon Barkley, that's the centerpiece of your offense. I just want a guy that can get it into his hands. I don't need Trevor Lawrence to put the ball into Saquon Barkley. I don't need it.
Jeff Hostetler wasn't great, but he was great when we needed him.
I think the Giants absolutely.
Eli was great when we needed him. Daniel Jones, he still has.
Here's the problem: you're going to be
offensive line, and then you're the best receiver available with that 2nd pick.
It's not like this division is like. Hold on.
Carson Wentz, who is the best quarterback in the division, I said last night, is the reason why they won the game last night. Because when you have the best quarterback in the division, every year you're going to have a chance to compete to win the division. Sorry, but Daniel Jones is now better than Carson Wentz.
Joe, please stop it.
He's not better.
What I was going to say, you're making it seem like this division is like the AFC West. There's a reason why this division only has a total of 6 freaking wins in this entire season. It's horrible. This division is god-awful, plain and simple. Okay, let's not talk about we got the Philadelphia Eagles undefeated, one of the best teams.
Right, so think about how good do you have to be between now and next season to be in contention?
With the way this division is?
The Giants,
here and there.
Absolutely. I think if the Giants are able to add somebody for that offensive line, preferably a left tackle with maybe Thomas at right, or maybe you move Thomas inside to a guard position. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Whoever the next best receiver is, that maybe somebody who could have been in a 1st rounder, maybe somebody gets caught smoking the reefer week of draft day, and maybe, a 1st rounder, maybe he falls early into the 2nd. I think that you need to start getting some weapons. You need to build this offensive line, because I'll tell you what, I think if you could cut this defense's time by 10 minutes off the field where they're getting left and exposed week after week, Look where the Giants were with 4.5 minutes to go. I mean,
no, I know. 100%.
They were in great shape. You can't keep asking this defense week in and week out to pick up such amazing slack that they have to do. It's not fair to this defense. This defense is good. This defense, they're one of my. I actually have them in 2 fantasy leagues.
So
They still scored points last night. That defense still put up points.
Last night was the perfect thing, and Ted, you said it best. We have all these weapons. We have, as Giant fans, start deciphering between expectations and reality. Expectations is it looks good on paper. Reality is it's not. It's not working. The Giants have a lot of work to do. Daniel Jones had a solid game. The defense played their part until the end. Their offensive line is still a major issue. They have a lot of holes, and not one quarterback is going to fix everything just like that. I don't care. That's all I got to say.
Listen, real quick, I've heard the comparison made to Jeff Hostetler, and I'll tell you this. Jeff Hostetler could run. Mm-hmm. He was great. Jeff Hostetler didn't turn the football over. But one thing Jeff Hostetler could not do that Daniel Jones can do is drop a pass in on a dime with the frequency. Again, it's a literal statistic. Look it up. Daniel Jones has been the guy squeezing balls in, mostly out of necessity because he has receivers who don't know how to separate, but he knows where to put the football.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That's all that matters. Yeah. The Giants won a Super Bowl with Jeff Hostetler. There's no reason with a good young defense like they have, a couple more pieces to this offense, this team in this awful division can get very competitive very fast.
Yeah, let's not make it seem like this division is one of the best. It's the worst for a reason. So all these teams struggle for a major reason. It's showing. And last night it was a sloppy game at times, but another heartbreaker, another debacle in the New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles. Robert, let's get over to some good teams. Let's talk about the AFC. We were going to talk about this on Tuesday, but we didn't get a chance to. So let's get into a huge game this weekend, the biggest game maybe in this early season so far, other than the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs, is the Tennessee Titans and Pittsburgh Steelers. But there's also the Chiefs. We cannot rule out the champs. They're 5-1. They still have Patrick Mahomes, and they're getting Le'Veon Bell soon to play. So which team in this actual AFC that I think is a better conference right now than the NFC?
Absolutely.
And I didn't believe that coming into the season. I thought the NFC would be, but you give me the top 3 teams in the AFC versus the top 4.
And Baltimore's the 4th.
Well, and then you
Baltimore, Steelers, Titans, and Chiefs easily right there. There's your top 4.
But here's the thing. So who do you trust? Do you trust the Steelers team that's led by a dominant defense right now, and you still got Big Ben?
Chiefs.
Or, okay, that's fine. Are you led by the Titans? Good defense. Ryan Tannehill has emerged as one of the elites in this game, and they just have a monster running back called Derrick Henry. That's a freight train. And then you got the champs. But who would you trust the most in this? Because the Chiefs, yet 5-1, have looked vulnerable defensively past couple weeks. And that is a concern for, I know you have Patrick Mahomes, but you can't always rely on Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes against a team like Pittsburgh, who I really want to see play, I want to see how these Titans and Steelers game goes. Even though Devin Bush is out for the year, a major loss.
I expect the Steelers to win this week too.
But who do you trust out of these 3 teams?
The Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. It's enough. That's all I need to say. I trust Andy Reid. I don't trust Mike Tomlin. I trust Vrabel. I think the loss of Taylor
Would you put the Steelers last?
No, I put them second.
Okay.
I'd put the Titans third and the Ravens fourth, maybe. Close. That's a tie for third. But here's the realistic. I trust Andy Reid over Mike Tomlin, so I'll take the head coach. I'll start with the quarterbacks. I'll take Patrick Mahomes over Tannehill and Ben Roethlisberger. I'll take the Chiefs being able to continuously make plays on offense, having the spoil of riches with Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards, and having Hardman and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, because you can build the great defense you want. We saw in the Super Bowl last year, best defense didn't have a chance against this offense, even up double digits going into the 4th quarter. Doesn't matter, okay? Defense can win you championships, but I think in today's day and age, if you have an offense like this, it kind of balances the spectrum. So with that being said, the Steelers will be second, but number 1 is the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Andy Reid. I trust Andy Reid over Tomlin. I don't trust Tomlin in big spots. He's blown games before. If I had Charles on right now, he would rip Tomlin, because I remember as much as he's proven the second most wins in the AFC since he's been the head coach, only behind Bill Belichick. He's faltered with teams that he's consistently had the most talent on the field.
Sounds like a quarterback named Dak Prescott. Never mind.
They've had talent, they haven't lost.
I'm sorry. I had to get Dak. I know he's injured right now, and I don't.
And I just don't know if the Steelers have enough offense. And I'll make this last part, and I'll let Joe hurry up and get his point in. I think the loss of Taylor Lewan, left tackle, the All-Pro.
Oh yeah.
For the Titans is going to be a significant
Which is a bigger loss, that or Devin Bush for the Steelers?
The tackle, because you have to protect your quarterback, and the Steelers are still really good without Bush. Taylor Lewan, they saw last week, first time he was out the next play, Tannehill got sacked, a fumble, and off of J.J. Watt. So not having your strongest asset on offensive line, an all-pro left tackle, that's a huge loss going forward, especially if you're going to have to face T.J. Watt.
It's not like they could run the ball or anything with Tennessee.
Yeah, but
it's not like they don't have a running back.
You still got to protect the quarterback.
What's his name? Something? Derrick Henry? Something?
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, look, I definitely trust Patty Mahomes more than I trust Ryan Tannehill, but I really trust Derrick Henry right now. And look, I think when you've got the league the way you've got it right now, you're seeing really inconsistent performances from about 85% of the league right now. And I think if there's one thing – and again, obviously that's a huge loss for Tennessee, and ultimately if they can't adequately replace him there, it could be a real problem. But if you were to ask me today, I think Tennessee wins the game this weekend, and I think literally at this point, I do. I really do. I think Tennessee is going to find a way to win. And I'm like you, Teddy. There's something. I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's a great guy. And I think
I just think Andy Reid over him. That's
right on.
I would. I mean, Vrabel, man, he's emerged as one of the best in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Look, those three teams have three great coaches.
Now, one of our guests,
they've got three really good quarterbacks. But I think the thing that separates Tennessee is that Tennessee does it differently, and I think it's when you're trying to win games against good teams. You're gonna have to like scratch it out. You're gonna have to figure out a way to win.
And I think the Chiefs can do that. They've done it last year.
I think Tennessee has the advantage because of the ground game. Over, and again, not that KC's ground game isn't good, and obviously vastly improved at Le'Veon Bell. But there's just something about Tennessee. I like what I saw last year. I love what I've already seen this year. My faith right now, watching all these three teams and having seen them all played a couple of times each now, just something about the Titans says don't go against those guys.
And Joe, I'll put to this point. I know pretty much the Titans are the same team as last year. So are the Chiefs with a couple little different components. But I just look at last year. The Titans had a chance. They were up. But at the end of the day, you can't take away Patrick Mahomes and that ability to score at any time.
And they did a good job of shutting down.
And they did a good job with Derrick Henry. Now, one of our watchers, Derek Way, who played football with me in college in Western Connecticut, said, and now he's a Titans fan. Avid Titans fan. He has the Ravens 1, Chiefs 2, Titans 3, Steelers 4.
Ravens 1.
Which I'm surprised, but I think we fall in love because they just made a move for Ngakwe. They just traded for Minnesota, another pass rusher.
I could stop him.
You team him up with Calais Campbell. They also just I don't know if it's solidified, but they also just signed Des Bryant, who hasn't played since 2017, to the practice squad. They need another receiver on the outside. My only question: do you trust Lamar enough to outduel? The other quarterbacks. And in 2 weeks we'll find out because they play the Steelers.
I've been a huge supporter of the Steelers this year. I love what the Steelers are doing. I love that defense. I love everything about them. But I really do believe losing Devin Bush. I know you don't think that's the quarterback of the defense. He's the middle linebacker, and he's one of the best damn good ones in this league. He's actually, I would say, besides maybe Bobby Wagner and maybe another back, he's probably the best.
Greenlaw from the 49ers.
I would Werner. Werner's really good too, but I love Fred Warner.
Oh, and the kid from the Colts, Darius Leonard.
He's an outside backer.
Yeah, but
I love what Devin Bush did at Michigan. Even though I'm an Ohio State guy, I loved him coming into the draft process. I wanted the Giants to go get a guy like him because I really felt like that was the year they took Daniel Jones. I wanted the Giants to trade back and try to get him that year.
Yeah, we knew it was a great. Once they came up, we go, that's a great.
Yeah, they got Blake Martinez, but the Giants haven't had
the Steelers.
I know, but the Giants haven't had a linebacker since freaking Antonio Pierce. So finally, we got a linebacker. I was saying this the previous year when they had the 2 draft picks, the Daniel Jones draft. Losing Devin Bush is going to be a huge. Trevor Keys, Ohio State guy. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
He is awesome.
I am an Ohio State guy. I love my Buckeyes.
I
love my Buckeyes.
See,
golf clap.
It's an easy one.
Maybe the politics are, but you can respect the other side too.
You can respect everybody's opinion. But no, Devin Bush, Taylor Lewan is a major loss. Devin Bush, I feel like, is going to hurt this team because he is the quarterback of that defense, and that defense is the best in the league right now. But losing an all-pro type player like him, we'll see what happens. It's good. This game is going to be great. It's a perfect type of game that you want to watch. If you love running the football and if you love big heads, great defenses, here's your game because you're going to get two of the best playing this Sunday. And we're going to see it's for the top seed in the AFC too. So who's going to be number one? Right now, the Titans are one.
Yes, absolutely.
So I can't wait for it. I'm excited. I wish the Giants just won, but we're going to get into baseball because there is still a World Series going on, and it's been like we expected it to be, as advertised. Split down the middle. First game, Dodgers come alive. The bats come alive. They play well. Kershaw looks dominant. And we don't really say that a lot, but he looked amazing.
That's how the Dodgers win.
He looked amazing in game one. They did everything they do in this entire season. And then game two comes back. And what do the Rays do? What the Rays have been doing all year. Pitching well, clutch hitting. Brandon Lau comes in. And to people, I didn't even know. For a team that has a lot of good players, he's their best player. He's their best hitter. I didn't know that, but he has struggled.
Well, he was an all-star.
He has struggled drastically in this entire postseason. We saw him. He couldn't hit anything in the Yankee series, couldn't hit anything in the Astros. He comes in and hits 2 WAPO home runs in game 2. What's the give tonight? But before we even make a prediction, there's a guy that has emerged as maybe the best player in baseball, and Red Sox fans are still losing sleep over it. And his name is Mookie Betts. We always talk about Mike Trout and say that, and I know how Joe is an anti-Trout guy in certain situations. But exactly. But is Mookie Betts now the best player in baseball? And maybe I would say yes, because the fact is he's still playing. And Mike Trout was sitting home.
And he shows it on the biggest stage. And even when he was 2 for 14 in the NLCS, he still had the 2 biggest defensive plays in all the series.
Yep. He's been amazing.
Robbed home runs.
He's been amazing.
And he steals bases. They were saying 5-tool player. No, even Teixeira said the other night, and I can't stand Teixeira. He's a 6-tool player because you got to add leadership into that. They talk about him on like he's been on that team for 10 years, how he's incorporated everything with the team. He gets along with players, leadership. He's there early.
It's going to go down as one of the all-time worst trades.
They said it the other night. Even Tim Kirk.
It's a horrible trade. I don't care.
They were comparing it. Listen, the other night, they didn't call him this, but they said the Bambino trade. Same thing that the Red Sox. The Red Sox had won 4 World Series when Babe Ruth was there before he got traded, and then they had the falter. The Red Sox had won 4 World Series through the years, from 2003 to the Mookie Betts trade. Now they have to watch the best player in baseball for the next 12 years playing in L.A., Boston, L.A., the rivalry. I mean, how the Red Sox could ever trade him. You know what? Here's the thing. They offered him, I would believe it was 10 years and $300 million. They did offer him $300 million. Maybe it was 8 years. So really the difference in the money was 12 years he got, and a little bit more than $300 million. I just think he didn't want to play for Boston no more, Joe. I think he wanted to play in a warmer, nicer West Coast, L.A. scene, and didn't want to be in Boston, which is surprising because Boston historically is great.
Joe, I know you're coming in.
Go ahead, Joe.
Look, same tired ESPN war nonsense. The Angels are not a 500 team because of Mike Trout.
No, they'd be
a 500 team with anybody else in the outfield. That's the reality of it. Again, I wrote an article about it. You're welcome to read it, where I actually deep dived Mike Trout. He's not a productive hitter in the clutch. He's not good in tight and late situations. He's not good when the Angels are losing. Go to baseballreference.com, flip through, do a little bit of research, and stop this ridiculous hero worship of Mike Trout. He's a great statistical player. That doesn't translate to anything other than a nice back of your baseball card. But
it has. I think we lost Joe for a sec, but we're back. We're still here. Joe will come back. What is Trout? Yeah, you can say whatever you want about Mike Trout. The Angels have a good lineup. They have stars on that team. It's not like there's no slouch. Stop shaking the camera, please. Sorry, we look good right now. We got to stay tuned with the fans. But my thing is, Trout has had the offense of players. He's had the lineup. So for anybody that wants to say, oh, Mike Trout, I get it. He's amazing. He's a great baseball player. But Mookie Betts has been in the playoffs, has delivered in the playoffs, has won a World Series, was the best player on that World Series, and looks like he's the best player again on an already stacked Dodgers team. He's doing it on display when it matters most. Where Trout, yes, he's great. He makes amazing plays. He hits home runs. He does everything right. You don't watch it. You only get to see him this year for 60 games. You only get to see him for 162 because realistically, the Angels have had no shot in making the playoffs. So, and I'm a big Mike Trout guy, but I'm taking Mookie Betts over Mike Trout right now as the best player in baseball because he's on display in the postseason. And when he is playing well, he does it better than almost anybody in the game other than Mike Trout.
This is why Derek Jeter is Derek Jeter. Not because of his regular season. It's because of what he's done in the postseason. That's what it comes down to. That's where guys make their mark. Reggie Jackson's known as Mr. October because of what he did in October. Guys, historically, we knocked Peyton Manning for years because he put up all these great statistical stats, but he didn't win in January and February. Tom Brady did. That is the real.
Joe, where the hell did you go?
I yelled so hard, I think I broke my internet.
No, let's be honest. You just had to go
again,
gel your hair. You had to go gel your hair a little more.
Anybody who says they would take Mike Trout clearly doesn't know what they're talking about. Look at the numbers, and if you would take Mike Trout over Mookie Betts, then you're living in like 4 years ago when Mike Trout was actually putting up great numbers. The guy's missed a significant amount of games over the last 3 years. I'm so over Mike Trout. Let's not waste our time. You're right. Mookie Betts is a 6-tool player. I think the only guy that's even got comparable skills right now is DJ LeMahieu, who unfortunately is 32 years old.
No, I was going to say Cody Bellinger.
I don't even know if I'd put Bellinger there. I'm not sure.
I know, but I mean, you think about this. You're going to be on the Dodgers for the next 10 years. You're going to have Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts as your best center fielder and best right fielder. Mookie Betts has won 4 straight Gold Gloves. I think he'll win his 5th this year in 60 games. He's been amazing. Cody Bellinger's got a cannon in center field. He went from right field. How about that? It just speaks volume. And they stay healthy. That's another thing. Mookie Betts stays healthy. All right? He had a bad season last year for the Red Sox. He does. Everyone has bad seasons. Listen, I don't think you're wrong who you take. Mookie Betts, Mike Trout. You're fighting over Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They're both exceptional things.
Here's the thing.
The problem is Mookie Betts does it.
Yeah, you're right. You're fighting over Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, but Tom Brady is way better and wins a lot more. That's the difference. And listen, you could be a person to be like, I'll take Peyton Manning all day. Great. That doesn't mean anything. It means you got 1 Super Bowl. That's what it means. Or 2 Super Bowls, whatever.
You're right, Joe.
Yeah, great.
But the second one doesn't count as you
know what? But you understand my point. You understand my point. Again, dude, we can sit here all day and talk about statistically and WAR and all that. WAR clearly doesn't mean anything in terms of wins or championships. Yeah, I find it funny that the first word in WAR is wins when they don't really – it doesn't really matter what you do. Mike Trout is the ultimate compiler. That's all this guy's doing. He doesn't win baseball games. He doesn't hit in the clutch. He doesn't hit when they're behind. Go to baseballreference.com. Educate yourself. It's fascinating. ESPN's got you convinced that this guy's one of the greatest of all time.
So, Joe, on your fantasy team,
not there.
Your starting pitcher is going to be Jacob deGrom, and
your first pick will be
Mike Trout.
Will be Mike Trout, right?
Of course they will. Those guys are great.
All I want to say quickly with Robbie, I love you, but if you want to take Trout, that's fine. I'll take Betts, and I'll make the playoffs. You could stay home and watch Mike Trout put up the MVP.
Here's the thing. In baseball, it's so hard to knock a guy, but he is
not knocking him, but he hasn't.
But the thing is, his team sucks. And here's the thing. If you play for the Angels, you're not going to make the team. It doesn't matter. I know, Joe. One baseball player ain't going to change.
Every year we always say. Every year
are you telling me for 9 years that they haven't had any pitching? Am I supposed to believe it's been 9 years with? I mean, Albert Pujols, a Hall of Famer, has been with the guy for the last 5 years.
Every year we always say, "Oh, the Angels, they're going to compete for the AL."
We find all the excuses in the world for the Angels because of Mike Trout. They're one of the richest teams. They have one of the richest owners. They could certainly spend the money if they wanted to, but they know what they have. A shiny thing of, oh, look what we have. Everybody, Isn't this guy great? Let's sell his jerseys. They don't win baseball games. Mike Trout doesn't win baseball games. It's as simple as that.
No, I think Alexander agrees with you.
Yeah, he said highly overrated. So
Trout,
let me close out with this because there it is. Stats are great.
But I do agree with Robbie. Is who's really have they had for pitching as an ace in the last years that you can really name that's good? Now, one ace ain't going to change the thing either. Because
let me finish. We're over with this. Mookie Betts has been amazing.
Finish the World Series?
Yeah, we're going to finish up with this because I wanted to get in quickly because I know Joe's got to leave in a couple minutes. Kevin Cash has established himself as maybe the best manager in baseball. And I know he's a big analytic guy, but the way he goes about it, see, Boone is an analytic guy. I just don't like the way Boone handles situations, whereas Cash, like he knew his ace, Blake Snell, plays well the other night. But he saw he had a little rough patch. He took him out immediate, goes right to his bullpen. He doesn't like with Boone. I feel like Boone is forced a lot with a lot of the decisions from
he does the same thing.
I don't like
Kevin Cash overthinks everything.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he did. Sometimes he outsmarts himself because he's a brilliant guy, but he outsmarts.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
I really don't.
Listen,
believe
I thought, Joe, can I tell you something? In that 8th and 9th inning, when they had 2 outs and they had man on first and second, Diaz was on first.
I love the way
Randy Arozarena got walked. They had both guys. He brings in a double pinch runner with 2 outs. You remember that, Joe? I don't know if you saw the game in the 8th or 9th. I'm like, why are you taking out your 2 best players right now? Why would you take out Diaz and Randy Arozarena? And Randy Arozarena just had it was a grounder down the third base line, and he beat it out. I'm like, Arozarena plays great outfield and it can fly. Why are you taking out a pinch runner? This ain't Gary Sanders running. It ain't a fat tub. And I got to say one other thing. How the hell did the Yankees organization let that guy, Troy, get out of their farm system? The guy can run. Did you see him go from first to third the other day? Mm-hmm. He ain't no fat slob. The Toad can run. He can run. He can fly.
Fat slob, but you call him a Toad. So Toad's a fat slob also. No, so did you know what you just said? You just contradicted yourself in a matter of guess. What the hell's the matter with this kid, Joe?
He can run and he can hit. That could have been our first baseman. That could have been our lefty first baseman going forward. That guy, oh my God, I'm impressed with him thoroughly, but I don't think Kevin Cash is the best manager in baseball.
Roberts overthinks. Amen. Dave Roberts overthinks. I agree with that statement. Kevin Cash.
Listen, every manager overthinks when the guy doesn't come through in the clutch. Doesn't come through. I'm gonna make a pitcher change. Well, that guy walked the guy. Guess he wasn't good enough. What if the guy came in to make a strikeout? Hey, great move. Great move, Joe. Great move, Trev.
Okay. Well, why haven't he's improved every year, whereas Aaron Boone, we're still giving the same.
Do you think Kevin Cash is the best manager because he has the least amount of people on his team, meaning salary-wise, that $26 million is the total salary?
I do like his style, but I also like the way he handles situations. I know that you might think he does it differently, but when I see a guy like Aaron Boone who has the analytics, big on analytics, and still struggles to make
Would you rather have a Joe Girardi
and
guy?
makes the same mistakes over and over in a couple of years that we're talking about that he shouldn't be making in year 3 or 4. He should be like, it's still my problem. Where Kevin Cash, it seems like he's improved with making decisions every year. Do you agree that Kevin Cash may be the best manager in baseball, or do you not feel that way?
I 100% feel that way. Also, I'll point out Jared Weaver and C.J. Wilson were both aces with the Angels in the Mike Trout era. So let's stop the nonsense. They've tried. They failed. The team's not good. They spent $218 million last offseason on Rendon and some of these other guys, and it still didn't work. So stop the nonsense. Listen,
you're like back to school. You're like Sam Kennedy. You're getting louder and louder. Yeah.
We can argue about it all day. You're going to lose the argument because the stats back up what I'm saying.
Easy, Trump.
Give me a break. Yes, Kevin Cash is the best manager in baseball. This guy's working with a payroll. Basically, dude, look, he doesn't even get one Garrett Cole for his payroll. $28 million this year.
You mean 28 players for one? 28 players for one Garrett Cole.
I mean, unbelievable, dude. The way that they fixed Charlie Morton, the way that they're able to. What is this guy's name again? Arozarena? Who the hell is this guy?
Randy Arozarena.
Whatever his name is, I don't even want to know it. That's the beauty of it. By next season,
Wendell at third base, that guy smacks the ball and plays great defense. I said, I was with my coworker, who's an avid Yankee, huge, watches every freaking Yankee game. I said, you know what? I'd rather have that Rays team because all they do is smack the ball and hit the ball and play great defense. I'm like, we talk about all these guys like Judge and Sanchez, and I'm like, no, I want that guy. I want that guy. They hit the ball hard. They play well. They play sound defense. Charlie Morton's got a .057 ERA in the postseason, and I think they win tonight and beat Buehler and the Dodgers and take a 2-1 lead. And I think the problem is the Dodgers only have 2 starting pitchers, and that's Kershaw and Buehler. They have no bullpen. The kid Gosselin, who pitched game 1 the other night, has been worn out. The kid May, who looks like Carrot Top, shaved the freaking head because he's got great stuff, but he's inconsistent. Doesn't work for me. The Dodgers have a great offensive lineup, but they don't have enough pitching. The Rays do, and that's why they're going to win tonight. They can go bullpen deep. They can go 6, 7, 8 guys.
And there it is. I knew that. You'll lose. You will lose. He's getting angry. No, I knew it was
There's nothing to debate. The numbers back up what I'm saying, Robbie, dude. Wake up, kid. It's okay to say you're wrong. You're wrong. It's fine. Oh, my God.
Trump never says he's wrong.
Stop it.
When you're right, you're right.
This is not a political damn show. This is a sports show. So there's the question. There's what you wanted to see. $28.6 million is the Rays payroll. Kershaw and Betts put together is 26.8.
Would you?
I'll say this too. Look, Kevin Cash makes you play his game. Kevin Cash makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. So he wins before the game even starts. Davy Garcia's name is in the starting lineup in game 2. Kevin Cash already won.
And that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. Like in the series against the Yankees, he made Boone go play his game. That's just the beauty. That's just showing the genius of him. He really is a genius when he really wants to be. I know he thinks too much, but when he makes decisions and he makes managers go play his style, what else do you have to say? I mean, you've shown Boone. Well, Boone should take a page out of Cash's game because they're both analytic guys.
Yeah, but he tried. He tried and it blew up in his face.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen. I say this every single year. We get into the postseason and you hear people, maybe the Yankees should start playing small ball. Yeah, because they played all season hitting home runs to start playing small ball. What is wrong with you people?
It's like the Dodgers.
You listen. You go home with the girl you took to the dance. You understand that? You go home with the girl you brought to the dance. You're in the postseason. You're in the postseason. You're in the postseason because you're banging your way in there. You pitched enough to do it. You don't go in there with a new game plan. It's a recipe for disaster. We've seen it 4 years in a row for the Yankees where they start overthinking things. Let's bench Miguel Andujar.
They try to play the opponent's game.
And that's why the Dodgers won game 1 because they were able to smack home runs and play their game.
They play their game. And then Cash comes back and
game 2 and played their game and it was dinked and dunked and smacks and being outsmarted. And the biggest thing is, I'll take this and I'll end it on this. Blake Snell giving them great starting pitching through 5 innings is the key. That's the key. Once he started faltering, Kevin Cash made the move.
Immediately.
And what I like about this, but it's significant and it speaks volume to who their bullpen is. Like if Blake Snell was struggling, he brings in Chapman right there in the 6th and doesn't wait to the 9th. He brings in their ace guys because he thinks the most important innings are the 5 through 8 innings, not the 9th. Yeah, that's why they had 13 guys with a save this season.
Joseph, before you leave, who do you got?
Who do you got tonight, Joe?
Ted got the Rays. I got the Dodgers.
Rays in a close one.
I'll tell you what, I think the Dodgers will win tonight.
So do I.
And I think it's the last game they win in the series.
Joe, we had 7. Joe, no, you had 6.
Didn't you have the Dodgers winning it? You had the Rays?
No, I have a Rays in 6.
I had the Rays winning in 6.
I have the Rays winning in 7.
I had the Rays winning in 6.
You had the Dodgers.
You had the Dodgers, I thought.
6, right, Joe? Didn't you have the Dodgers?
I thought you picked the Dodgers.
Joe.
You're starting to act, you're looking like a politician. You're starting to act like a politician now with the lies.
A lot of talk, no action.
A lot of talk, no action, Joe.
I forgot who I was talking to. Yes, I did say Dodgers, and now I'm changing my mind because I'm trying to be what a good politician could be. I think the Dodgers win tonight, and I think the Rays win the rest of the series.
Wow, so we're on the Rays now, huh?
I like what I see from the Rays, and I think their pitching just matches up better the rest of the way.
I still think the Dodgers as a team is a better complete team, but it doesn't make a difference all the time because, like, you could say Mike Trout's the best player in the world, but doesn't mean you're going to win all the time.
Dodgers win if they play their game. If they play in Cash's hands, it's going to be another. Hold on, it's going to be a same old result, Tampa victory. That's what will happen. All comes down. If you see a game one, they play their game, hit home runs, bam, plain and simple.
The Dodgers are 9-0 when Cody Bellinger has multi RBIs in a game. In the postseason this season.
We shall see, but it's been a good one so far in the first two. We can only hope that the next four, or if necessary, however long this series may go, we can only hope it's as good as the first two. Joseph, as always, buddy.
Love you. Thank you, man.
Look good, buddy.
Hey, everyone who tuned in, wrote a comment. Robbie, appreciate the comments. That's great stuff. Alexander, thank you very much. D-Way, everyone.
Joe is very popular today. People love this suit.
And RJ, Joe, like we said, shout out, healthy recovery through your surgery, bud.
Joseph, you need to start wearing that suit more because you look good, buddy. Thank you. As always. We are streaming on all social media platforms at Keys to the City. Subscribe, comment, and like as well. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We are out.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city. We unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.